Vin, Vin, are you ready for another VinVin's bedtime adventure story? This one is Vin at the Cinema, the on-screen adventure. Written by Daddy. Read by Daddy. It was a quiet evening, and VinVin sat in the soft red seats of the cinema with his mummy and Daddy. The lights were dim, with just a few small spotlights glowing on either side of the room. On the big screen, a superhero film played, Sharkman versus Monkey Toad. VinVin's eyes sparkled as he watched the action unfold. His little hands gripped a tub of popcorn, which, as he was mesmerised by the film, he kept accidentally tipping, sending fluffy kernels tumbling down to the floor. Snakey Snake, curled comfortably around his neck, whispered gently, "You ready for your own adventure, VinVin?" Vin yawned once, then twice, and slowly his eyes fluttered shut. Suddenly, magical swirls filled his vision. When he opened his eyes again, the screen in front of him was glowing. Mummy and Daddy were no longer around, so VinVin went to investigate the glowing screen. As he approached, a bright light flashed, and he and Snakey were pulled into the screen. He looked around in amazement. Bright colours, swirling skies, and comic book action surrounded him. Standing in front of him was none other than Shark Wizard, cloak billowing and wand in hand. "VinVin, we need your help," Shark Wizard declared. "Sharkman has been captured by the mischievous Monkey Toad and taken to his secret lair. I would go, but the path is filled with creatures that terrify me." Vin nodded with determination.
"No problem,"
he said.
"The men need help."
"I got you, buddy," Shark Wizard winked. "In our scary, darkest hour, give this boy a superpower." With a flick of his wand, Shark Wizard transformed Vin into Super VinVin, complete with a superhero costume and utility belt, popcorn and drink attached.
"We need more help,"
said Vin, admiring his gear. "Way ahead of you, buddy," giggled Shark Wizard. "Heroes need help to stop villain tricks, so bring forth Milo to be his sidekick." With a blue glow levitating down to the ground came Vin's cousin and friend Milo, also dressed in superhero get-up. The boys greeted each other with a high five, which produced a spark and a flash like two mega forces were combining. "You're like Super Vin and Milo Man now," said Snakey, admiring their costumes. Together the two tiny heroes set off, munching on popcorn from their utility belts. But before they could get too far, a puff of smoke exploded in front of them. It was Mola, the tooth goblin, green and mean with his golden tooth wand raised high.
"Popcorn is sweet and gets stuck between the teeth, so here is Mola to cause some grief,"
he said, menacingly approaching. Without missing a beat, Vin and Milo began throwing handfuls of popcorn straight into Mola's gaping mouth. He tried to speak, but the kernels kept coming, stuffing his cheeks and jamming his magic chants. With tears in his eyes and popcorn stuck between his fangs, Mola ran away sobbing. Vin and Milo fist bumped and giggled before carrying on their journey. Soon they came across a dolphin standing in their path. Not just any dolphin, but one dressed as a ninja. He looked sad, but still launched spinning seaweed stars at them with lightning speed. The first couple splattered Vin and Milo in the face like a cold, wet flannel. From then on, Vin and Milo leapt and flipped through the air, dodging every star with superhero flair. Then Vin whispered a plan into Milo's ear. Randomly, then Milo broke out into a ridiculous jig, dancing and spinning wildly to distract the dolphin. Vin smirked at the scene unfolding and crept up behind the dolphin ninja, leapt high into the air and dropped a single piece of popcorn into the dolphin's blowhole. The dolphin let out a surprised squeak and fainted. Vin caught him gently, moving him to the side, removed the popcorn as they both patted him softly before moving on. Their next obstacle was even bigger. A huge Mexican whale wrestler came barreling towards them with a battle cry.
Frick!
Shouted Vin. They both pulled their fizzy drinks from their utility belt and poured them onto the path. The whale lunged forward with a mighty stomp, but landed in a sticky puddle and got stuck fast. He writhed around for a while, but it was no good. Vin and Milo popped some popcorn into his mouth as he struggled, and soon he became placid and relaxed again. The boys then continued on their journey. Soon they entered the Swamp Kingdom, where fog rolled low and the air smelt of rotten farts. In the middle of the swampy clearing, tied up with rope, was Sharkman himself.
Let's rescue him!
Vin pointed while nudging Milo to get him to see what he was seeing. But before they could reach him, a croaky laugh echoed above them, and then a thunderous fart. Monkey Toad, their ultimate foe, dropped down from a toadstool ledge and began bouncing wildly after them. With each jump, another fart released. Vin and Milo ran in circles, leaping and flipping to avoid him. Then Vin stopped and said to Milo Man,
Oh God, there flies!
he shouted. Using their speed, they caught a dozen buzzing flies from the swamp air and began tossing them at Monkey Toad. One by one, he gulped them down with his sticky long tongue. He looked dizzy with joy. While Milo kept feeding him more, Vin slipped behind and quietly untied Sharkman. Yah!
Thanks for setting me free,
shouted Sharkman, kicking Monkey Toad square in the bum. Monkey Toad let out a fart and flew through the air, vanishing into the mist. The day was saved, and who should teleport in but Shark Wizard?
Grandpa!
Sharkman cheered as Shark Wizard appeared in a final shimmer. Thanks for rescuing my grandson, boys. Even heroes need help sometimes, said the wizard, giving his superhero grandson a hug before patting the boys on the head with his flippers. Then thunder rumbled in the distance. Snakey Snake poked his head out and whispered,
Time to go, Vin.
Vin hugged Milo Man tightly, and with one final swirl of magic, the world shimmered and spun. Vin was back in the cinema seat. The film credits were rolling on the big screen. His tub of popcorn was half empty in his lap, and he was snuggled up between Mummy and Daddy. They both looked down at their sleepy little boy and giggled softly. Vin rubbed his eyes, smiled, and the three of them stood to leave, ready to face the world again. At least until the next adventure.
The end.